Hey everyone, welcome to 59 Topps Friday, presented by Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. We built the iconic 1959 Topps baseball set, and in this series, we're going through every card to talk about the players, teams, and people who made up Major League Baseball in 1959. Today, we'll cover cards 40 through 49 in the set. Card number 40 belongs to Warren Spahn of the Milwaukee Braves. 1959 was the 15th season in the major leagues for Spahn. Who is the greatest pitcher in baseball history? The Hall of Fame lefty's career numbers remain eye-popping today. A 21-year career, over 5,200 MLB innings, a 3.09 ERA, a 13-time 20-game winner, a 17-time All-Star, and a Cy Young winner and world champion in the same year, 1957. By 1959, he was in the midst of a career-best stretch, one that started at age 35 in 1956. He finished top 5 in Cy Young voting 5 out of 6 years during that time, and threw no-hitters in 1960 and 1961. At age 42 in 1963, he led the NL in complete games with 22. Spahn retired after the 1965 season with the most strikeouts in MLB history by a lefty. His 63 career shutouts remains the most ever for a post-dead ball era hurler. Spahn's dominance at a more advanced age was surprising, so much so that people looking at the back of his 1959 Topps card might be forgiven if they believed his date of birth originally printed there. Spahn's original card listed his date of birth as April 23rd, 1931, 10 years after his actual birth date. Topps issued another version of the card with the same incorrect birth date, but with the number 3 obscured in the birth date partially by a printing error. Topps finally got Spahn's 1921 birthday correct on the third try. The 3 Spahns were the first of several major error variations in the 1959 Topps set that we will explore in this series. Card number 41 belongs to Bob Martyn of the Kansas City Athletics. 1959 was Martyn's third and final season in the major leagues. However, he only had one MLB plate appearance the entire year. Martyn spent several years as a Yankees farmhand, hitting .318 and .314 in 1955 and 1956 in the minors respectively. Midway through 1957, Martyn was part of a trade that sent Billy Martin and Ralph Terry to the Athletics. Martyn was a part-time outfielder for the A's for 2 seasons, and after the aforementioned one at-bat early in 1959, he was dealt back to the Yankees. He spent 1959 and 1960 in the minors with the Yankees and Reds before retiring. Card number 42 belongs to Murray Wall of the Boston Red Sox. 1959 was Wall's 4th and final MLB season. A member of the 1949 and 1950 University of Texas Longhorns College World Series championship teams, Wall pitched for both the Boston Braves and the Boston Red Sox, appearing in one game for the Braves in 1950. Well after the franchise moved to Milwaukee, he was dealt to the Red Sox, where he pitched almost entirely in relief in 1957, 58, and part of 59. The Red Sox traded him to Washington as part of a 4-player deal that involved pitcher Dick Hyde heading to Boston. After just one game in Washington, Wall was returned to the Red Sox and Hyde back to the Senators because of a pre-existing arm injury to Hyde. Wall pitched in 11 more games for Boston before his career ended. Card number 43 belongs to Steve Bilko of the Los Angeles Dodgers. By 1959, Bilko had played in 7 big league seasons, but he did not appear in the majors in 1959. Bilko debuted for the Cardinals in 1949, but did not become an everyday player for them until 1953, when he was their regular first baseman. He hit 21 homers, but led the National League with 125 strikeouts. He was sold to the Cubs the next year, and would be some time before he made his way back to the majors, playing for the Reds and Dodgers before eventually landing with the expansion Angels. Bilko could never equal his minor league output in the big leagues. For 3 years, he dominated the AAA Pacific Coast League, winning 3 straight PCL MVPs from 1955 through 1957, and won the league triple crown in 1956, with 55 and 56 home runs in 1956 and 57, respectively. His exploits caught the attention of TV writer Nat Hiken, who supposedly named the main character of the Phil Silvers show after Bilko, which would later be made into a 1996 film starring Steve Martin. Card number 44 belongs to Vito Valentinetti of the Washington Senators. 1959 was the 5th and final MLB season for Valentinetti. A journeyman hurler who was mostly a bullpen arm in the bigs, Valentinetti pitched for both Chicago franchises, the Indians, Tigers, and Senators. He was also at one point part of the Dodgers organization, but never pitched for their MLB club. Valentinetti pitched a total of 257 innings in the majors with a 4.73 ERA. After his playing career, he worked in construction and held several government positions in New York. Card number 45 belongs to Andy Carey of the New York Yankees. 1959 was Carey's 8th big league season. Signed to a $60,000 signing bonus out of California by the Bronx Bombers, Carey debuted in 1952 and became the Yankees' regular third baseman in 1954. He hit .302 that year. His average dipped the next year, but he led the AL in triples with 11. In 1956, Carey started all 7 games of the World Series for the Yankees and made several key plays in Don Larsen's perfect game. The following year, Carey began losing playing time to others, and after 1959, the Yankees committed to Clete Boyer at third base, so he was dealt to Kansas City for Bob Serve. He was a part-time player for the A's, White Sox, and Dodgers before ending his playing career. Carey then worked as a stockbroker in Los Angeles. Card number 46 belongs to Bill Henry of the Chicago Cubs. This would be Henry's 6th major league season. He started his career with 4 solid, if unspectacular, seasons pitching for the Red Sox, from 1952 through 1955, mostly as a starter. He spent a year in the minors with Boston, was dealt to the Cubs, spent another minor season there, and then reemerged in the majors in 1958 as a reliever, where he would pitch for the remainder of his career. He led the NL in games pitched in 1959 with 65, striking out 115 in 134.1 innings pitched with 12 saves. Henry was traded to the Reds for 1960 and was on both NL All-Star teams that year. He pitched for the Reds in a losing effort in the 1961 World Series for the Yankees. Henry also pitched for San Fran, Pittsburgh, and Houston in a 16-year MLB career. Card number 47 belongs to Jim Finigan of the Baltimore Orioles. 1959 was the 6th and final MLB season for Finigan. Debuting for the A's in 1954, Finigan was the club's regular third baseman and excelled as a rookie. He hit .302 with a .381 on-base percentage, making the AL All-Star squad and finishing 2nd in League Rookie of the Year voting. He was an All-Star again the next year after the club moved from Philadelphia to Kansas City. From there, his career stalled out. He was a part-time player the next 4 years for the A's, Tigers, Giants, and Orioles, and finished with a .264 career average. Card number 48 is the Baltimore Orioles team checklist, which provides a listing of cards 1 through 88 in the 1959 top set. This would be the 6th season for the franchise in Baltimore following their move from St. Louis. The previous 5 had all been losing seasons, and that would continue in 1959. This was not the fault of manager Paul Richards' pitching staff. Anchored by Hall of Famer Hoyt Wilhelm, the O's finished 2nd in the AL in team ERA at .356 and 1st in shutouts with 12. The offense could not keep pace as they finished dead last in the AL in runs scored and slugging, and 2nd to last in average, homers, and on-base percentage. But the tide was beginning to turn for the Orioles, as a young third baseman named Brooks Robinson emerged as a star in the latter part of the season. The Orioles were on the doorstep of one of the most impressive runs in baseball history. Starting in 1960, Baltimore would only see 2 losing seasons over the next 26 years, with 3 world championships and 6 AL pennants along the way. Card number 49 belongs to Bill Hall of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hall only played parts of 3 seasons in the majors, but spent over a decade in the Pirates organization. He was a backup catcher during his short time in the big leagues, playing mostly for the parent club in 1958. That year, he appeared in 51 games and hit a more than respectable .284 with a .366 on-base percentage. He also hit .344 in AAA that season. That's going to do it for this edition of 59 Tops Friday on Wax Pack Wisdom. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Wax Pack Wisdom content. Do you have a story about one of the people, players, or teams we discussed today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it. In the description of this video, you will find our source material for this episode, links to where you can follow us on all social media channels, as well as a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. Please consider a donation to one of them if you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.